So I think what's really important for people to understand about this, a lot of people assume that the event itself is where trauma happens. So they hear about these horrible events, a shooting, an earthquake, a tornado, a fire, any kind of disaster, etc. And they hear about, a town of 10,000 people, and they assume, well, all 10,000 of them must be traumatized. And that's not quite how the process works. So when we think about what is trauma, it's certainly the event for sure. And some events matter more than other events for a variety of reasons. So we might think about a criteria being the individual experiences an event that they perceive to threaten their physical or emotional integrity, or threaten the physical or emotional integrity of somebody or something close to them. The hurricane, the disaster, etc., right? But that's not the whole game, if you will. There are two other criteria that most people don't think about that are really important for folks to understand. It's not just the event, it's also whether that event overwhelms my individual and collective ability to cope. So the example we often give in the world of people struggling is, do you have a shoulder to cry on? Do you have somebody who will literally put their arm around you and sort of comfort and soothe you after the event? And literally, in some circumstances, when that happens, it can have a powerful mitigating effect on whether that event becomes traumatic for that person long term. I think that's really powerful for people to know, because we can all think of people we can, give a hug or support or comfort. Criteria number 3, which is probably equally as important, is whether or not in the process of being overwhelmed, it leads to difficulty in functioning. So maybe my relational capacity diminishes and my significant other starts to say, boy, something's wrong. And it leads to a little tension or conflict that way. Maybe I start to call in sick to work. Maybe I'm struggling to complete my degree that I wanted to complete, and so I drop out of college, right? If you think about that, presuming those activities are related to this traumatic event, we've now got difficulty navigating life, difficulty in functioning. So we would argue when all 3 things are true, perceived threat to sort of physical or emotional integrity, that threat overwhelms my individual and collective ability to manage it or respond to it, and it leads to difficulty in functioning. That's what we call trauma.